Hi, mis amigos. Happy Wednesday and happy spring. Today here in Mexico, March 20th, marks the official start of spring. I think it's the same in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I trust you're all doing well. I know it's early. As you guys may know, my son's school drop-off is at 7 a.m. these days, and we were a little bit late this morning. He has a special spring show today, and part of the show is that he, along with his classmates, are going to be performing this music piece. And he had so much anxiety. He says he sucks at music and all this negative stuff. And I've been telling him, Anthony, of course, I'm trying to encourage him to confront his fears, because you don't win the game of life by sitting on the sidelines. And I told him, I'm not good at everything I do in my life. There are many things that I'm not good at. And in those areas of our lives, we still have to show up, and do the best we can. I tell him, all you can do is do your best. And, I told him, you're not the only one playing. There are going to be lots of other kids there. So just do your best, Anthony. Nobody cares. Just do your best. Show up. And I don't know. I feel like this is a thought that was worth sharing with more than just my son, right? Because so many of us, first of all, we're our own harshest critics. I think so many of us. And I cannot speak for others, so I'll only speak for myself, but I know, and I've gotten better at that, the negative self-talk. I've gotten a lot better at, not beating myself up when I drop the balls, when I don't do as well as I would like to have done. And that brings me to another thought. Things have been pretty intense lately, haven't they? Is it just me, or are other people feeling like the increased intensity? I definitely feel like there's been an acceleration of sorts, and I am very aware that there is a rising of vibrations on Earth, and I think it's inevitable that we're going to feel it. And it just feels that things are moving super fast. I've been feeling overwhelmed, and in order not to feel overwhelmed, oh, how amazing, right? I know, jumping from one thing to the next, but how cool. My higher self really does guide me, and I'm really grateful for that. For a while now, I had been saying that I wanted to do some silent meditation. So it's been my morning habit for a while now that I would do, a 10 to 12, 13 minute guided meditation in the mornings. And then I would go and do my gratitude list. This is like my standard morning routine. But for a while I've been saying, well, I want to get back into doing some silent meditation. I want to do some silent meditation because I want to connect to my higher guidance. I want to connect to my higher self. I want to connect with my guides. Well, how funny, but because of how intense things have been getting, and I was feeling so overwhelmed, I think because of that reason, yesterday, I thought I heard an alarm at 4 a.m. I was like, oh no, my son left. He must have turned on his alarm on his phone or on one of his devices. And so I wake up at 4 a.m. Apparently, he did not turn on any device, but sure enough, I was up now. So now what am I going to do? It's 4 a.m. and I was awake. So I'm not about to go back to bed. So what did I do? I ended up meditating, and I hadn't done silent meditation in a long time, but it felt like the right thing to do, and it was amazing. I first set my timer for 10 minutes, and then another 10, and then another 15, and I just kept wanting to do more of it. Last night, well, after having woken up at 4 a.m., needless to say, by the time evening rolled around yesterday, I was pretty exhausted, yesterday throughout the day. So by the time evening came around, I was like, I need to go to bed. But I'm so silly sometimes. I'll go and sit on my bed thinking, oh, I'm just gonna watch this video, and then I'll go and brush my teeth and wash my face. All right? Has anybody else done that? Right? So in fact, of course, as soon as I touched the bed, I pretty much fell asleep. And this morning, and fell asleep with the lights on and everything, with my makeup on, not that I wear much makeup, but in any case, And then today, 3 a.m., no alarm, I'm up at 3 a.m. Hey, there's a cute doggy. Hi. Oh, he's the color of my skirt. Okay, por favor. Okay. Okay. Okay, doggy. Okay. Very friendly. Okay. So, anyway, so I'm up at 3 a.m. this morning. And again, I'm pretty... Okay, doggy. This dog is totally licking me. Okay. And of course, what am I going to do? I actually thought, okay, should I go to bed? But like, no, I was pretty wired. And once again, I ended up meditating. I was like, okay, I did like the 10-minute guided meditation, and then I was like, no, I might as well do some more silent meditation. And yeah, I was very happy about that. I ended up setting the timer for 15 minutes and then another 15. I think I did a total of like 45 minutes. I was very happy, and it felt amazing, and it definitely calmed me because I had a lot of thought ramblings going around in my head. So it's very interesting, and I feel that when the time has come, and I feel like the time has come. After saying for the longest time that I want to get back into doing silent meditation, I need to do some silent meditation because I want to connect to my higher guidance, I want to connect to my higher self. And 2 days in a row, I'm waking up with like crazy hours and like, no, I need to meditate. Like the impetus was there. So if my angels are doing this, thank you. I'm excited, and I feel like I do want to keep this up. I guess I will report back, but I'm pretty sure that this is a new habit that is here to stay because it felt so good doing it, my friends. I don't know how many of you meditate. It's the morning rush hour is starting to pick up here, and we're 1 hour behind Toronto time right now because Playa and Quintana Roo, we don't do the morning, what do you call it? Daylight savings time. We don't do that. Anyway, I'm excited. I wanted to report that. Yeah, I don't know how many of you meditate, but yeah, sometimes, I feel like there was like, before this happened, I would think like, oh, I need to force myself, like I need to do it, but I wasn't doing it. And it's like me saying I need to force myself to read, and I haven't been doing it. So I'm like, do we really need to force ourselves that much? Like, I really wonder, I don't know. That's a good question, because there are still things that, well, case in point, like recently, I was like, I felt an impetus to go back to the gym. I haven't done it in a while. And I was like, no, I feel like I wanna feel my body getting strong, and weight training will do that for you. And in a way that yoga and jogging wasn't doing it for me. But again, for a while, I kept saying I should go back to the gym, but I wasn't doing it. And then all of a sudden, like, I felt the inspiration, and now I went, 3 times this week. What? So maybe when maybe waiting for inspiration is the right thing to do. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I guess I'm just sharing, and maybe some of you can relate. But I feel like so many of us are so hard on ourselves and try so hard to push ourselves. And as a woman, that's something else that I'm learning, masculine versus feminine energies, and how masculine energy is about direction and pushing and making things happen. And I feel like for quite a while in my life, I had been doing that. It's exhausting. I don't want to do that anymore. I like this inspiration thing. I'm very grateful that all of a sudden, instead of making things happen or pushing myself to make things happen, which is something I've done for so long, all of a sudden, inspiration is guiding me, and the things that I've wanted to make happen, all of a sudden, I'm feeling this inner impetus to make them happen, but like in the most effortless and enjoyable way. Thank you, inspiration. Thank you, my angels. Hopefully, I really hope that you get to experience similar magic in your life in the coming days, months. I do feel that, well, from everything I've been learning, we are receiving so much support right now. Earth is receiving so much support from our galactic brothers and sisters. Oh my gosh. Okay, side note, some of you know I've become a big fan of Bashar. He's a channeled being. He's been channeled by a gentleman by the name of Anka for the past 40 years. And Bashar describes himself as an Esasani being, which, as it turns out, are a race of beings that are a hybrid between Earth humans and gray, what we typically refer to as the gray aliens. And apparently Bashar exists, in our timeline somewhere like 3,000 years in the Earth's future. And he's been sharing with us a lot of wisdom, but I don't know why I'm bringing up Bashar all of a sudden. Why am I bringing up Bashar? I don't know. I love Bashar. There is something I wanted to get to in terms of like one of the teachings he was sharing. I feel another dog is coming. I guess this is the time people walk their dogs. What was I going to share about Bashar? Oh man. Oh yeah. Well, the main thing, and I might have shared this already on a live stream, but I told you, like, this gentleman, Anka, has been channeling Bashar for the past 40 something years, and yet somebody recently attended one of his events. I was listening to a recording of one of his events, because he'll do, Daryl will host live events where people ask questions, and then Bashar will answer people's questions about life, the universe, and everything, whatever questions people have. And a woman said, I can't believe I'm only now, like, you've been doing this for so long and I'm only now learning about you. Oh yeah. And he says, you didn't need me before. You didn't need me before. So, oh gosh, yeah, so this is what I was getting to. The acceleration that's happening, the great awakening, the ascension process. It's on, my friends. And why are so many of us, okay, I suspect I'm not the only one, judging by the number of views some of these spiritual videos are getting, like literally in the hundreds of thousands of views. Channels like Next Level Soul, big up, props to Alex from Next Level Soul. Check out that channel if you haven't already. You'll be mind blown. Yay. It is happening, my friends. Why all of a sudden, after saying for the longest time, I want to meditate, all of a sudden I'm like, I need to sit down and meditate. And it feels amazing. And I think so many of us are going to be increasingly experiencing this in the next little while. So many of us are going to be connecting with our higher guidance and becoming increasingly aware that we are spiritual beings, multidimensional spiritual beings, and really knowing ourselves as such. Where we happen to have these extensions in this 3D reality, but that is not who we are. We are not these bodies. And that brings me into the whole conversation of, male versus female. And I know we just celebrated International Women's Day, and that's, oh man, I don't want to make this live stream too long. Because I'm going to my son's school festival. But yeah, yes, I was born in a female body in this life. And my son actually asked me, like, because, I have these kinds of conversations with my son about, hey, you chose to come here. It's not an accident that you're here. Everything is a choice. Sometimes you may not feel that way, but there are no accidents in the universe. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. Yeah, and my son asked me, like, why do you think you were born a woman in this life? Like, could you have been born a man? I was like, you know what, Anthony? I think I needed to be born a woman in this life. Because, in case you haven't noticed, my dear friends, on Earth, for the longest time, we have been, well, I'll just tell you, we have been under the control of certain at least one particular ET race that definitely is more patriarchal in nature, very domineering, very service to self. So the feminine, the divine feminine had been suppressed for a very long time on this planet. So of course I had to come in as a woman. Of course we had to go through the whole feminism movement, the liberation of women, of course. But I just want to remind you, you're not male, you're not female. In your past lifetimes, parallel lives, because that's a thing apparently, you are both. We are literally light beings that can choose to take on masculine or feminine essences, and in various lifetimes, I can assure you, you've been both. I've been both. So this whole idea of identifying with your body, that you happen to be born in this lifetime, well, happen as in chose to. Of course, a bunch of us had to incarnate in female bodies to break those stereotypes and break those chains of oppression and balance things out, of course. And now there's a whole pushback against the feminism movement and telling women, you know, you need to be more feminine and so on. Yeah, well, did you notice how oppressed the feminine had been, and it continues to be in so many places on this planet? Okay, somebody's saying Jesus is coming back. Maybe. I'm not. If he comes back, that's great. It's not mandatory that it comes back. Remember, my friends, we are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the ones we have been waiting for. I'm not waiting for a savior to save me or save us. Every one of us has choices to make. Every one of us can choose to live life more consciously and really do our best to be our own best selves every day. But yeah, I'm not surprised I chose to come in a female form in this lifetime. I'm not surprised, because, and I know I'm a strong woman, and that, you know, is not typical in some ways, you know. Yes, I will go and climb mountains. Yes, I will work in careers that were, you know, for a long time not female dominated, like the financial field. Real estate is definitely getting a lot more female dominated, you could say. Not dominated, but there's a lot more balance. Yeah, some of us had to come and balance things out on earth because the feminine had been so suppressed. And yeah, now I'm noticing there's this whole movement of women that are wanting to reclaim their femininity because they feel that we've gone too far to the other side, that women have become too masculine. Perhaps some women have. I'm not worried about it. We needed to do what we needed to do. We needed to show the world that, yeah, women can do anything, because whether you're a man or a woman, you're not just a man or a woman. You're an endless soul that is having this human experience. So, oh yeah. And something else that I have to speak to, because again, in this pushback against the feminism movement, we have increasing numbers of women who are saying, well, you know, I love being a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife. This is like all I want to do, and it's the utmost happiness to me. And listen, to each their own. I'm not gonna, but I was gonna say I'm not gonna judge, but in a way I am gonna judge a little bit. But at the same time, I'm gonna say, you know, to each their own. Again, knowing what I know about who we really are as beings, that we've all had multiple lifetimes in multiple realities. Where I can assure you, you've been male and female in your past parallel lives, and where I can assure you that you've had lives when you did all kinds of different work. I know I'm one of those beings. I have a suspicion that I have some other jobs, like my higher self probably is doing other jobs at the moment, okay? Probably working for the Galactic Federation or something to that extent. I wouldn't be surprised. I know, you guys are gonna think I'm freaking crazy. Oh well. I didn't come here to sit quietly in a corner and not speak my truth, so there's that. So it boggles my mind to me that somebody would choose a life of limitation. And again, somebody may say, well, why do you think being a stay-at-home mom or wife is living a life of limitation? Okay, well, to me, it's way too small of a life. There's no way in hell that would be like the only thing I want to do with my life. I've got way too many things to do. I've got to serve this world on a bigger scale. And yes, of course, women, like, I think being a mom is amazing. I'm grateful to be a mom. I would be up for being a mom again because, hey, my friends, all my friends who are not having children, if you're an awake individual, you're self-aware, you're a conscious person, you're doing your best to live your best life, and you're saying, oh, I don't want to have children, so you don't give a shit about this world. I'm sorry. Like, really? So you're gonna leave it to the rest of the world to bring up the new generation of humans that are hopefully gonna take this world in the right direction? Okay, I mean, it's up to you, but all I'm saying is I would be up for bringing another starseed on this earth. I think more of us need to do that. Have you watched that documentary? It's big right now. It's called The Birth Gap. How we actually have massive declines in fertility, in birth rates across the world, like massive. The globalists, the controllers are getting their way, my friends. Like, well, it seems that way. They're not gonna get theirs. They're definitely not gonna have the final word. But it's just, it boggles the mind that like all these young people saying, oh, I don't wanna be a mom, I don't wanna be a dad, I never had the calling or what have you. It's not about having a calling or not. It's like, okay, do you want to help shape the future of humanity? Do you want to see this world turning around? You can do something by having a child. You can. It may seem to a small extent, but you have no idea what that child would be able to do, and it's an opportunity. Again, those of us who are awake, aware, health conscious, all those things, what are you doing not bringing a child into the world? Do your best. Okay, I understand, like, some people maybe waited too long, it wasn't possible. Okay, there are other things you can do, and I know bringing a child into the world and being a parent is not the only thing we can do, but it is an important thing. So yeah, it may sound like I'm contradicting myself. All I'm saying is, women, you can have it all. You can be a mom, and at the same time, if you want to have a career, if you want to live this big life of endless exploration, you have every right to do so. And I think living with limitation and choosing to live with limitation in any area of life, perhaps, you know, some women, I'm guessing that the women that choose to just be a stay-at-home mom or wife, I'm sure they don't perceive it as a limitation. They probably see it like as the right life choice for them. And again, like, who am I to? I'm not in their shoes. I guess I can only share my own perspective. For me, I think a life like that would be far too limiting. I definitely have other roles to play on this earth beyond just being a mom. That being said, being a mom is amazing. I'm grateful to be a mom. And I encourage my young friends who are still sitting on the fence or just basically have decided that they don't want to have kids. I do encourage you to have kids. Get to it, okay? I know. I've said enough for this morning, my friends. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you perhaps later today for more of a business live stream. Okay, blessings. Have a great week. Bye.